Hi everyone, this is Jesse with UltraTech. Do you have the need to set up a virtual machine? Have you been putting it off because you think it's something that's hard to do? In this video, I will tell you what a VM is and how to set up Windows Server 2019 as a virtual machine using VMware Workstation from your own computer, and best of all, it's free. So, what is a virtual machine? In simple terms, it's a computer resource that uses software instead of a physical computer to run an operating system and programs. You can run most operating systems on a VM, such as Windows 10, Windows Server, Linux, and even Mac OS. To run a VM, you will need a host computer or server that can run the hypervisor. A hypervisor is what will emulate your existing hardware and distribute resources so that VMs can use them. For example, if you have a system with 32 gigs of RAM, the hypervisor will split up the RAM and assign 8 gigs, 12 gigs, whatever you assign to that VM, and leave the other resources for the other VMs or for the host. A Type 1 hypervisor will typically run on a dedicated server such as VMware ESXi or Hyper-V from Windows that installs directly on the hardware. This is not an operating system, and it's sometimes called a bare metal hypervisor. A Type 2 hypervisor will run on systems with an operating system such as Windows 10 using software such as VMware Workstation or VirtualBox from Oracle. In today's demonstration, we will use a Type 2 hypervisor by using VMware Workstation. Let's get started. So the first thing we want to do is get the VMware Workstation Player. So if you Google VMware Workstation Player, you want to download the latest one, which is this one. And the good thing about this one is you'll be able to run for free for personal use. I have it downloaded on my desktop already. I'm gonna go ahead and start the install. Going with the defaults. Just mentioned earlier, this would be a Type 2 hypervisor since it's running on top of our Windows 10 operating system. But this will allow anyone with a Windows system or traditional users to get up a VM up and running in a few minutes. So that's installed now. I'm gonna open the Workstation Player and you'll get this right here. So the other thing that you need is the ISO for Windows Server 2019. So if you Google Windows Server 2019 ISO, you could find this section of Microsoft where you could download the trial. And there's other versions, version 16, Hyper-V, 2012. But for today, we got 2019, Server 2019. So what we'll want to do is we'll want to create a new virtual machine. We want to select the ISO. We have it on our desktop. We're going for 2019 standard. Set up a password. So I noticed this section forces the actual install to skip the portion of when you're installing Windows where you select the server version. Well, now you get to choose it from this section. We're gonna hit yes, yes, next. Here you wanna give what size of a disk you want to give your VM depending on what you're going to do. I leave the bottom portion as a default. Here are the options we selected. You can customize the hardware. I typically like to put at least around 10 gigs. For cores. Hit finish. Just later. I'm gonna pause while it installs. So as you can see, it's starting to install already. And it's copying files and should finish it in a few minutes. So we'll come back once this is finished. And there you go, finish all steps. And just like that, within a few minutes, we have a virtual machine that's up and running. And it's all running within your own operating system. Keep in mind, it's going to use some of those resources from your own system. So you have to assign what's available. So we can ignore this error, it should go away the next boot up. And here's the 60 gigs that we applied. And we're able to add any services that we want to our server. So that is it for today. Thank you for watching.